Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 92 of my brand new comics haul series, where I show you guys every book that I picked up on my pull list from my local comic shop every week, and I tell you everything you need to know about every single issue. This week, it's the last week of the year. Happy New Year, guys. I hope you enjoyed your Christmases, any other holidays that you're celebrating. And yeah, this is the last week of comics, but I ended up with 7 issues, which is kind of a lot for me. Usually these publishers don't come out with too many issues for these last weeks. I'm pretty sure DC only came out with like a couple. Marvel had a pretty big array of releases, so I mostly have Marvel issues, 6 of them, and then one Boom Studios issue that I'll show at the very end. But let's just get right into it here. The biggest release of the week, definitely, at least from Marvel, this is Timeless issue number 1, my most anticipated for sure. So this is just a one-shot. It's basically this kind of thing that Marvel does at the end of every year. They usually have some sort of like one-shot, oversized issue that gives you an idea for what's going to come in the new year, right? So 2023, we're getting an idea of what's going to go on. And we have Kang on the cover here. It's written by Jed MacKay with an array of different artists on this issue. And it's the future of the Marvel Universe revealed. So the last year, for 2021, they also did a Timeless number 1, so this might be a recurring thing. It's cool that Jed MacKay is writing these because he's been like definitely an up-and-comer at Marvel. He's got another issue that I picked up this week that we'll get to in a second here. And I apologize for this video coming out a day late, by the way. I was busy yesterday, so I couldn't come out with it. I do want to post a review of this issue. I did one last year, and talk a little bit about these visions of the future that we're going to end up getting. So we'll see how Kang is involved with this. But Marvel hasn't really been like living up to their promises that they've given us in these end of the year issues, right? Like, do you guys remember in that Marvel Comics 1000 issue when they talked about the Masked Raider, and that only ended up like actually happening a few years later? Last year they talked about Miracle Man, but he didn't really have that much to do with comics in this year. Like, he wasn't part of the Marvel Universe or anything. I don't know, that's just me. I mean, maybe they're not really living up to their promises, but I did want to show you guys this last page at the end here. I'll probably talk more about this in the review if I do post it, but we've got a new Avengers series. The quest for the missing moment continues in the Avengers. So my guess is that Jed MacKay will be the next Avengers writer. That would be pretty cool. We'll see about that, though. That's Timeless number 1. Look out for my review of that issue. Next up here, though, from Marvel Comics, we've got Amazing Spider-Man. This is issue number 16, and this is a dark web tie-in, as we see Peter Parker battling Ben Reilly on the cover there. Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I really am not liking this dark web event at all so far. I just last week caught up on all the issues that have come out so far, and I'm not a fan at all. I just feel like there's not enough going on plot-wise. Basically, we just have Ben Reilly, who's Chasm now, and Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen. They're both clones of, famous Marvel characters, right? So they've teamed up. They're, summoning these demons from Limbo and invading them into New York City. That's, all that's going on. And then the last issue of Amazing Spider-Man was just Peter, battling Venom, who's been mind-possessed. It was just a really quick read, and there was, almost nothing going on. So I'm not a big fan of this at all. I haven't been too big of a fan of Amazing Spider-Man in general. I might drop this. I don't know. That's a big thing to do because this is, Marvel's flagship title. I will show some interior artwork here, though. The art is looking a lot better, I'll say that much, for these dark web tie-ins. We've got Ed McGuinness on the art. I like how he draws Venom. So, as you can see, there's barely any words on each page. Kind of feels like Zeb Wells isn't putting in the work he should be on Amazing Spider-Man. But soon we're getting that whole Mary Jane and Peter Parker falling out thing. What did Peter do, right? That's going to be revealed in, I think, number 21, Marvel just announced. So I might stick it out till then, but yeah, I'm really not feeling Amazing Spider-Man right now. Let me know what you guys are thinking of Dark Web, though, down in the comment section below. I'm curious to know. Next up here, though, this is another pretty big release from Marvel. This is Miracle Man, the Silver Age, issue number 3. Although this may just seem like another issue of Miracle Man, it's a pretty special issue because this is the first issue of original Miracle Man content that we've gotten from this creative team in 25 years, I think. The publishing history of this character is really confusing, but basically Neil Gaiman had a Miracle Man run that wrapped up with issue, I think, 24. Back in the 90s, it was under this company called Eclipse. Eclipse went bankrupt, so issue 24 was the second issue of a new arc of his Miracle Man run that he was doing, right? But it went bankrupt, he never got to finish his story. Eventually, the rights for Miracle Man, this famous character, ended up at Marvel, and now he's finishing his Miracle Man run. So the first 2 issues of this Silver Age arc were just reprinting those couple issues that he did under Eclipse, right? But with new artwork, because the artist here, Mark Buckingham, has a different style now. So he's fitting his style for this new issue that's actually the first issue of original content that we've gotten in a really long time. So this may seem not that big of a deal if you don't know who Miracle Man is, but I've read through all the Alan Moore stuff and all of the more modern runs of this character. It's really interesting stuff. I do recommend this, and I think this is kind of a character that's mostly gone under the radar, but has some interesting history for sure. So definitely a recommendation from me. First issue of original content in a while from Miracle Man, and we'll see what this series has to offer. I think they're doing this volume, which is 6 issues, and then there's another volume called The Dark Ages, or the Dark Age that they're supposed to do after this one. We'll see. But yeah, interesting run by Neil Gaiman. Next up from Marvel, though, we've got another good series. I know I keep saying that. This is Strange Academy Finals number 3. This is definitely like in my top 2 or 3 Marvel series of the last couple of years. Strange Academy has consistently gotten better and better as it gets you more connected to this cast of characters. I think what's the most impressive about this series is that it started with like pretty much a blank slate, right? It was like 10 or 15 different characters that we've been introduced to in this series without really any supporting characters that added that much, right? There was no main character that was already established or anything besides the teachers that teach these kids at Strange Academy Magic. But here in the cover, we have most of the cast going up against Gaslamp, who's this dealer of dark magic. He's been dealing it to Calvin, who then started dealing magic to his students. He got expelled, and that started this whole uprising at Strange Academy. And if you're not familiar with this series, to provide a little bit of context, this is issue 3 of the Finals series, but there was an 18-issue series just called Strange Academy that happened before this. They did just announce that this series is ending with number 6, I think, so I guess it's like a 24-issue run if you put together both series. And yeah, Scotty Young does an amazing job writing this, and yeah, the school is pretty divided right now. Here's a good page at the end. Looks like some big things are going to be happening at the end of this series. Looking forward to it. Strange Academy, definitely a recommendation from me. But I'd say you should start from the very beginning. The Finals number 1 isn't really a good jumping on point, even though they branded it to be. So, Strange Academy Finals number 3. Moving on with Marvel, though, I've got a couple more issues from them. This next one is the other Jed MacKay title I was talking about, right? This is Moon Knight. We're on issue 18. I feel like it's been a while since the last issue of Moon Knight, but it looks like we're getting guest art in this issue by Sabatini, who's the artist that occasionally comes on to do a couple issues of Moon Knight, who's been doing all the tie-in issues and that annual and all that stuff. If I recall correctly, I think that Moon Knight and Tigra showed up to confront this vampire leader of like this vampire syndicate that's taken control of New York City, that has some behind-the-scenes power that they're trying to shut down. These guys are trying to spread their power to the rest of the world. There's a little bit more going on. Like I said, it has been a little while. The artwork is looking pretty good in here, though, for a guest artist, so that's good to see. And this is definitely one of the best Marvel series over the last couple of years. I think it's just gotten better and better. Like, it had a little bit of a low streak for me, probably like around issue 12 or so. But, you know, it's continued to progress. I like the characters. Hunter's Moon is a favorite of mine, who's like the other fist of Khonshu, who's kind of Moon Knight's adversary, but also teams up with him sometimes. And Tigra is also a good supporting character. So, great Moon Knight run so far. That's issue 18. The last issue that I picked up from Marvel Comics this week, though, this is She-Hulk number 9. So I'm sticking through with this series. I mean, it's only been okay so far, in my opinion. I really like the first couple issues, and basically the cover shows most of what's going on in this series. We've got Jack of Hearts, who's basically She-Hulk's new love interest. We found out in the last couple issues that they've got something going on now. And he's got his own backstory. He was dead, I guess, in that whole Avengers Disassembled event from a long time ago. I didn't read that. I'm not familiar with the history of Jack of Hearts, but this book does catch you up pretty well on it. And yeah, I mean, not much happens in each issue most of the time. There's these people that are trying to track down Jack of Hearts. They might be the people that resurrected him. And there's some pretty weird dynamics going on with whoever the villains are. Like, you see this woman has a big head. So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, most of these issues just have dialogue. There's not too much action. It's just like witty banter between Jack of Hearts and She-Hulk and whatnot. Issue 9, we're pretty far into the series now. I'm not sure whether I want to keep on going with this too long or not. I don't know how long they're even planning on doing it to begin with. There's another page of artwork there, though. Artwork is pretty colorful, pretty good series so far. I think I'll at least stick it through this first like big arc that they're doing to figure out what's going on with Jack of Hearts. That's She-Hulk issue number 9. That was the last Marvel Comics issue that I picked up this week, but the last issue to end off this year of new comics hauls, this is Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, issue number 2. This is from Boom Studios. And yeah, I picked up the first issue of this series. I'm not sure if I ever showed it in a new comics haul. I might not have, but I liked the first issue okay. It was intriguing enough to pick up the second one, I guess, because here I have it in my hands. But I've heard each issue of this series has like a unique artistic team, but Jason Aaron is the ongoing writer of it. Not sure how long he's planning on doing this, because that first issue had like a flash forward in time, right, to the very far future, where we saw our main character like all old and grown up at the end of the world. So this could lead to some pretty drastic like climactic stuff that could end up happening. But the first issue, it was an interesting concept, and I liked the characters in it. Basically, we have our main character. I'm forgetting his name, but ever since the world, went to hell, ever since global warming and all that kind of stuff, he has been living in this tower that his parents owned alone, right? He's got a stockpile of food, and he's not gone out of the tower this whole time to stay safe. But then this girl came through like a scavenger. She's on her way to something, and he decided to go with her. So yeah, now they're on an adventure together, and we'll see where this goes. Here's one more page of artwork. I'm not too sure about the series so far, but you got to give it a couple issues, right? If you like the first one, try out a couple more, and then you can decide whether you want to keep on going with this ongoing. Cool cover here too. But yeah, that's Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, issue number 2. That's it though for this last week of the year, this new comic book day. I'm curious what you guys got though. If you even made it to your new comic store. If you made it to your local comic store in this last week. I know some of you guys are pretty busy for the end of the year. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys for supporting me this year. I think I will be trying to put out a top 10 comics of 2022 video, hopefully in the next couple days before the year ends, or else it'd be kind of dumb to post it after, I guess. So yeah, we'll see about that. I'll do my best to put that one out. And do look out for my timeless #1 review, which I'll be dropping today also. I'll just film a quick non-spoiler one. Appreciate all of you guys for watching. Happy New Year, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.